Welcome to the Catholic Life Coach Podcast. My name is Carla Fitz. I am a certified life coach, wife, and mom of two beautiful little girls. My hope for this podcast is to offer support and empower other Catholic women to live their most authentic life, to share life coaching tools from a Catholic perspective in order to help you live a more fulfilling life filled with peace, joy, and abundance. Let's get started. Hello and welcome. I'm so thankful to be here with you guys once again this week. Welcome to the Catholic Life Coach Podcast. I'm so excited to do this podcast with you guys. I wanted to also give you an update to let you know that I am feeling better. I don't think I'm 100% back. I don't think I'm going to be 100% back for a while. But I'm thankful and grateful because at the very least, I am sitting behind my desk today, not nearly as nauseous. So I will take it. I will take it as it comes. Today's episode, I have been thinking a lot about this because in Hallow, we are doing a 40-day Lenten challenge. And it is on the book, He Leadeth Me. And it is the story of a priest who volunteered to serve in Russia during World War II. And so far, our focus has been on understanding God's plan for our lives. And one of the things that has come up a lot in that particular set of prayers, but also in like the day-to-day prayers that I've been doing in Hallow as well with Father Mike. And yeah, it's just been powerful. And the thing that has been coming up a lot is letting go of our expectations. And that for me is a struggle, has always been a struggle because like you might already know, I am a dreamer. I love to dream. And for a long time, I stopped dreaming. I just went through life one day at a time, going through the motions, trying to just survive. And in doing so, I was living my life without dreaming for a long time, without having a goal, without thinking outside of the box or outside of my marriage and motherhood. And of course, those two are my biggest callings after loving God and serving God. But it truly is a big part of me to be able to dream and to have hopes and goals, right? But when we have those goals and those dreams, I think it's also so easy for us to have expectations on how things should work out. And this can happen in anything in our lives also, because how many of us, right, committed to a marriage and we got married and yes, it's amazing half the time. And the other half is like, this is hard. It's a commitment, right? Is a desire to love the other person in a day-to-day basis. We don't understand the words that we say when we get married, when we say for richer or poor, in health and in sickness, until we live it. We commit to doing something, but we have an expectation on how things are going to pan out. But the struggle is that those expectations are killers of joy. And the reason for that is that when life happens the way it's supposed to happen, we're disappointed because it doesn't look the way we wanted it to look or we expected it to look, right? It also happens in our motherhood. I mean, right now, I am living one of these moments. My husband and I wanted a third baby for a long time, for a few years anyway, and we were really open to having another baby. And when we did, let me back up. So in the wanting the baby, we were like, oh, it would be so good. Abby's my second daughter. She's going to be a big sister and it would be so good for her to have a little sibling. And it would be so nice for us to be able to have a baby now before I get older. And yeah, just like it would be amazing. And then I got pregnant and my expectations just went in the trash. I thought, well, it's my third baby. It'll probably be easier since I've already had two. No, it was harder. It was much harder. I don't think I've ever had a pregnancy like this. And so it's just Those expectations kill our joy because we are so focused on the way we wanted it to work out or the way we thought it would work out, and it didn't. And we feel so disappointed because the reality of our lives looks so completely different than we expected. Now, the thing is that we don't have to be so focused on how things didn't go the way we wanted it or the way we thought it would work out. Of course, it went a different way, right? Because what we initially created in our minds was just a set of expectations of what we imagined it would be like. And then we get to that goal or we get to that next journey, that next step in our lives, and it doesn't look anything like we expected. And this is where the next thing steps in, and it is surrendering our plan to God. Like, yes, we have a plan, and of course we have a dream, and we have an idea on how things would work. But ultimately, we need to learn to surrender our life, our plans, our ideas, our goals to God. And in Him is where we find that peace. It's so important for us to look back, right, into the story that God has given us in the Bible. How many people God said something and then it didn't turn out the way they expected? And even in the story that I'm going through, in the Lenten story with Father Chiswick, it's unbelievable. He signed up because he had this idea, okay, I am going to go to Russia and serve these people and teach them about God. And it's going to be phenomenal because it's such a great opportunity to evangelize. And then he gets to Russia and that's it. That's it. There's no people to evangelize because they do not want to hear about our faith at all. And he's being persecuted and he gets taken to prison and is away from his family for so many years. But even when we let's look at Moses, right? Like the man goes, he saves the Israelites, he takes them out, they're on the mountain, and Moses is like, this is going to be great. They were just saved by God, and they're going to be so committed to God, right? Can you imagine his expectations? And then they get on the mount, and what do? They start worshiping other gods. Not what Moses was expecting, I can guarantee it. No matter what, we are always going to have expectations and we will always be faced with the reality of our lives. And I'm not saying this so that you guys get to a point where you're like, okay, Carla, great. Now what do I have to look forward to, right? No. We have an unbelievable power within us to find peace, to find joy in the reality of our lives. Not in the expectations, but in the reality of our lives. In these moments where we had an idea and things did not pan out the way we wanted, or things don't look the way we thought they would look, it is the time for us to buckle down and spend some time in prayer. It is a time for us to learn to manage our minds. When we see our lives the way it actually is, in the reality that actually is, we are able to appreciate what is. We are able to appreciate the things that have been given to us in this particular moment. I'm going to take you in a journey for a second because a few months ago, I shared in one of my podcasts that one of our goals is to travel with our girls. And that is still one of our deepest desires as a family, is to travel more often with our girls. And we had this idea that we would be leaving in October of last year and we would be traveling somewhere in Italy because we wanted to go back and see so many more things with the girls. And it didn't pan out. We tried several things and things just did not work out the way we thought they would. And at first, of course, we were disappointed. We were mourning the idea. We had to process that things were not going to work out in the timing that we expected. And this is a step, right? We mourn the idea. But then we had to settle into our lives. We had to settle into the reality of our lives. And later on in life, we will always find the reason why that plan did not go the way we wanted, but it went in a much better way. Because right now, I'm sitting here February 20th, and I'm so thankful to be home right now. I could not foresee that I would be pregnant at this time and so unbelievably sick, right? God knows the reason why we are here today. He knows why He allowed something to not happen or to happen to us for our good. He knows the plans that He has for our lives. But I also want to share with you that yes, we need to pray, and yes, we need to surrender, and yes, we need to trust, but we also have our superpower that is our minds, that is overcoming the thoughts and managing our minds in a way that serves us, not that harms us, not that hurts us, in a way that uplifts us rather than pushing us down. So in order for us to find joy in our reality, in our current circumstances, to find peace in where we are today, it's important to see the blessings. It is important to acknowledge the blessings. Why is this a good thing right now? And also, letting go of the expectations. Acknowledging that yes, you had expectations on how things were going to look. And then also acknowledging that that's just not how it is. And that that's okay. Allowing it to be okay. This is a process, which is also why I do what I do, right? This is why we have coaches. This is why I have a coach, because it takes us time to overcome the thoughts and the beliefs that hurt us. It takes us time to let go of maybe regret or guilt of something that did not work out the way we expected. It takes time. It takes digging into your brain so that you can let go, so that you can forgive. I love the practice of self-forgiveness because so often when things don't go the way we planned or hoped or expected, we blame ourselves for the circumstances that we are in right now. And it is important to learn to forgive ourselves. It's so beautiful that we have the sacrament of confession, but it is so important for us to, after we do the sacrament of confession and we talk to God, that we also learn to let it go. That we learn to forgive ourselves for the things that we expected that didn't work out. And in doing so, we find joy in our day-to-day life, in our reality, in our life, our actual, true, present life. This practice of self-forgiveness basically involves you writing down in a journal and saying, I forgive myself for buying into the misbelief that I'm not good enough. I forgive myself for buying into the misbelief that I did something wrong. I forgive myself for buying into the misbelief that I am not worthy. Right? How many thoughts do we have in our mind that keep us stuck, that keep us feeling helpless, hopeless, restless? We have a God that loves us. And that same God gave us the power to manage our minds, to choose thoughts that empower us rather than diminish us. The last thing I want to mention is that the reaction of our brains to stay in regret or to stay in frustration because things did not work out the way we expected, it's totally normal. This is just a pattern that we've carried forever, since we were children. And that's why it takes time to break out of it. It's totally doable. It happens. You get better and better the more you practice. But it is just a human reaction. Our expectations are our human vision. But no matter what, you must remember that our actual circumstances will always be working for our good. His plans for us are for us to be prosperous, loved, cared for, successful. We have the key to manage our minds in the meantime. Because this is a journey, my friend. We are not going to set some goals and then achieve it and it's going to be absolutely beautiful and perfect. It's always going to be 50-50. But it is in the growth. It is in the becoming that the power lies. You guys hear me say this all of the time. That's why when I think of expectations, and there's a difference between setting a goal and dreaming about it. And there is, when we set expectations, what we do is we attach ourselves to that one way. It has to be this one way. Otherwise, it will not be worth it. And it's been proven forever and ever not true, because motherhood is 50-50. We love our children 50% of the time, and the other 50% of the time we're like, oh my gosh, go to bed. I am exhausted. But it is 100% worth it. I speak from experience. It's hard. It's 50-50, but it's 100% worth it. Same with the business. 50% of the time I'm like, oh, I love what I do. And the other 50% of the time is like, oh my gosh, why is this website not working? There's always something that balances our lives out. It's not going to be 100% fabulous and perfect. But I can guarantee it that whatever is laying in your heart and you are dreaming of doing and becoming is 100% worth it. All right, my friends, practice this week some gratitude for your life. Practice finding what's so amazing about your life this week. Practice letting go of what you expected and what is not. And practice loving yourself through the process. I will be thinking and praying for you. And until next time, God bless. Thank you so much for joining us in the Catholic Life Coach podcast. If you are ready to dive deeper into life coaching from a Catholic perspective, I want to invite you to schedule a free consultation for you to experience the power of one-on-one coaching. I will help you find more joy and align your goals with your faith, as well as embracing the abundant life that God desires for each one of us. If you are interested, the link is in the description. Until next time, God bless.